Robert.
Yo, what's shaking AC?
Well, that was fun. That's a little
Yeah,
bit of a fun one. Like lately, we have different varieties of what's shaking, right?
yeah, just throw around the cadence there and see how it goes.
Sometimes your hair is flailing, and
Yeah.
today's not. Well,
Okay,
anyway,
yo, listen.
what's shaking?
Yeah, what's
Yes.
shaking? So I was chatting with James on my team, and he was at your field coach roundtable. I wasn't able to make it, so it was awesome that he was there and he was
Well,
taking.
actually, you're not invited. Remember? No CEOs allowed. It's got to be people that are directly supporting
Right.
franchisees in the field.
That explains why it's not on my calendar anymore and why I missed it.
Yeah, it's not just you. You're not allowed
Anyways, so he
for
was
good
there.
reason, right? It's so that the field coaches can feel very comfortable opening up about their challenges and not feel like their boss is there or anything like that. So that is very intentional.
Mhm. So he was sharing with me the subject matter of this roundtable, and from my understanding, it has to do it this past week. It had to do with, for lack of a better phrase, getting people out of a rut. You know, like
Yeah.
if you have franchisees, and I guess this even moves on to like family and friends. When people are in a rut, that sort of thing, and what you could do as a leader or as a franchisor to help them get out of this rut. Did I hear that correctly?
Kind of, yes. Yes.
Cool.
What
So what's the
it,
answer?
well, hang on.
Okay.
You want to go right to the answer. Well, I want to just point out that the topic was around like when they're in a rut, how do you get them to like do or what are not how. First of all, it was how clear are you on what they need to do to go get business in the door? So it wasn't just being in a rut, but like if they don't have people coming in the door, it was very specifically quote unquote in the door or booking calls, whatever your business model is. It was very specifically, how do we get people in the door? How clear are you on the franchisor side in the field or whatever your role is? How clear are you with what you could tell them? Like, okay, you're really starving for business right now. The top three things for our company are you got to do some phone calls to old leads. You got to go walk around and hand out gift cards, or whatever it is. So we were starting there. But what you're picking up on is where it went to was it's as important as it is to know some like things that you can do to really get people in the door quickly as when you're in those situations. We got to stop and recognize, first of all, why isn't the franchisee going out and doing the thing? So that's where the kind of feeling of inner rut came in. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're trying to motivate them, does that sound like what you and James talked about?
Yeah, and it makes me actually think further, right? Like if you ask somebody, "What's your problem?" They say, "I'm in a rut," and you go, "Okay, what's the cause of the problem?" And they say, "I don't have enough money." I always try to dig deeper. I'm like, "Is that the cause of the problem?" Right? Maybe that's another problem, but the actual cause is that you don't have enough customers. More customers would bring you money. You believe in the business model, you believe that the pricing is all right and all that sort of stuff. So your problem is you don't have enough customers, which will solve your
Yeah.
money problem, which will solve your rut problem. So what's the actual root cause that you need to start tackling? Because if it's just that you don't have any money, go get a loan. You have money then, boom, problem solved.
Yeah, exactly. So the actual theme was that it's important for a franchisor to know what to do when a franchisee is struggling and knows like they're like, it's like, especially if they're saying to you like, Robert, you're the franchisor, tell me what to do. I need more business. What is the best thing to do? And of course, things that came up included like, well, wait a minute, you have to have marketing strategy. You can't just shotgun approach. But I tend to believe that should be going on in the background, but there are things that franchisors can tell their franchisees, like, and I've asked you that before, Robert, like if your flagship location was sales were down maybe over a period of time and you're starting to get worried, like not worried, but you're like, man, we just need some business. What, and maybe you can just share this now, like what would you tell your team to go do at your corporate location, your flagship location, to get some people to come in the door?
Yeah.
What are the top two or three things? And it can even be spend more on Google ads if it needs to be that, but if it might not be, what about like
Well,
what can be things?
it depends on the urgency, right?
Yeah.
Because You could do more reach outs, you could follow up with leads, you can put more money into advertising, you can become more active on social, etc. But a lot of those things have long sales cycles, right? If you're advertising to, for example, the moms this week, all the moms are away on vacation, maybe because it's some sort of holiday. And so you may not get that revenue until they get back, and you might have to send them a reminder advertisement or whatever, right? But sometimes it's way more urgent. Like, I need money this week,
Well,
right?
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So
So
you do other things, right? So one is like, you need to get customers in the door. So if you're a storefront that faces something where there's traffic, like foot traffic, people getting in and out of parking lots or whatever, you go out into that parking lot and you talk to them, say, hey, can I network with you, or whatever your pickup line is, right? And get them in, hey, sorry, listen, I'm just heading to the liquor store, to the groceries or whatever. Hey, how about you come in and play VR for 25 minutes for an hour, and I'll go pay for 25% of your groceries, or whatever makes financial sense. I'm just spitting something out there, right? But you're getting people in, right? So if they pay you $25 and you give them $25 to go to the groceries, you've got cash coming in. Sure, it's a net, but presumably you spent that initial gift card ahead of time, right? And now you've got this word of mouth that's spreading. Maybe you don't even have to get that enticing. You could just pull them in, right? Maybe you put an A-frame sign on the sidewalk right where people are walking, because your windows or something are covered, because that's the nature of your business or whatever it might be. So that changes things immediately, right? Maybe you go over to a neighboring store and say, hey, listen, do you mind if I set up a demo here that's running live that everyone can try, and I just send them 2 doors down, right? Those are the immediate things that you do right away because you're strapped for cash at the moment.
Yeah, that's the paying for the groceries. I hadn't heard that. That's pretty extreme, but hey, I hate to do what you want to do, but I like, I like the idea of like get out there and talk to people. And like, if you've got, well, one of the themes kind of that came up was if there's something you can give away, but like not giving, like say for VR, you might say, now people might be in the middle of, if they're getting their groceries or whatever, you might be like, okay, you might want to go home and drop these off and come back later today or come back tomorrow. Here's a gift card for a half an hour, and you can bring a friend. And then when they're there, you're going to try to say, and if you want to play, it costs this much, or tell all your friends to come back tomorrow, or like,
Yep.
And even if they come back next week, it's still more immediate than how long it takes on like a social media platform to start a fresh new relationship, right?
Some of it may not even cost you any time. If you have a wrapped vehicle, go park it next to a park where everyone's got soccer practice with a sign that says today only 50% off or whatever.
Yeah.
That gets them in today,
Yeah, exactly. So those are the kinds of things. And another thing that came up was that, you don't want to totally be shotgun approach all over the place. Like, you need to have some foundational marketing going on. That's the longer play, that you're building relationships. But one of the examples was, rather than going to a whole bunch of different chiropractors for one of the cryotherapy companies that was with us that day, rather than going to a whole bunch of different chiropractors and dropping off brochures, maybe go to your own chiropractor that knows you, talk to all the staff, and make sure they all understand it, and then maybe give them a gift card if they get people there, or just give them a gift card and say, hey, can you try to send people our way? I might not have that exactly right how it was put, but you know what I mean? Like going more pointed on, you already have some trust with someone, starting there rather than, just like net spear fishing instead of net casting.
Well, presumably you don't have to come up with ideas because you already have all these ideas in a marketing plan. You may just need to expeditiously deploy them with some urgency rather than like this is next month's thing or whatever, right?
Or find out which ones are generally the best, the quickest ROI. Like ask your franchisor or field person, which one of these things is generally going to get me people quickest, and I'll go do some of that. That was the theme.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
so there you go.
Let's wrap it up.
Okay, it's Friday.
3, 2, 1.
Go
be
awesome.